Shalom. We want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai. And we give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that feed us with knowledge and understanding, and that have put forth the work and earned the honors that they've been given, man. Much love to the elect brethren, the men that are out there on the four corners of the planet Earth that are pushing this truth and hoping and praying and watching that we get the hell out of this damn place, man. Babylon is on its way out. It's almost fallen. We just have to keep faith and stay in this thing and pray and watch, man, because it's close. Just to go into this quick lesson, it's not going to be too long because you got guys out here trying to induct these other nations into the promise, man. Okay, by saying that these different nations can slide in there by any means, man. Okay, that's why we give double honors to our elders that teach us, because it's Salakia, Satan trying to mess with me, but that teach us so we can go into these words and go into the understanding of the book the right way. You have to be taught the right way, and then there you can teach others if it's set up that way. But if you learn the right way and you study the right way, of course you'll be able to teach others the right way. Alright, but let's go into this verse. And this is about the Greek woman, okay? And we'll just start and we'll read from the top. This is Mark 7 and 24. And from thence he arose, and who's the he? Yahushai. And from thence he arose and went into the border of Tyre and Zidon, and entered into a house, and would have no man know it, but he could not be hid, okay? Because at that time he was gaining a lot of fame. Okay, so let's get into the map and to show where he was at. Okay. I think I got a better map right here. If you look at Tyre, it's right here. Okay, on the coast of Syria. So he was in this area over here. Okay, let's go back and read it. And from thence he arose, and went into the border of Tyre and Zidon, and entered into a house, and would have no man know it, but he could not be hid. For a certain woman whose daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him, and came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation, and she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. Alright, so now we're going to go into these words right here, okay? The first word we're going to go into is the word Greek. Okay, and you had the word Hellenist. Okay, let's play it.
Strong's G 1674. Hellenis.
Hellenis. Okay, by this definition here, they're trying to say that she is not a Jewish or not a Jew woman or a Gentile woman. But if you know the history and you've read into the history, you would know why she was being called that. Okay, so let's go into this history. Okay, it says detour. This is about Alexander when he was set up, and the things that when he took over those lands and set up that he pretty much uplifted the Greeks, but that was to fulfill the prophecy. Okay, that's why he was set up, and then he was taken down after the period that he fulfilled what he needed to do. Okay, that's how you know spirits are here for certain reasons and to do certain things, man. Okay, it says detour to Israel. During a military campaign against Persia, Alexander took a detour to the south, conquering Tyre and then Egypt via what is today Israel. There is a fascinating story about Alexander's first encounter with the Jews in Israel, who were subject of the Persian Empire. Okay, because we went under the Persian Empire, and then we went under different nations under captivity. That's how you have the prophecy of Daniel, or the Nebuchadnezzar statue, the statue that Nebuchadnezzar seen in his dream. Okay, because those were nations that were going to be set up and taken down simultaneously until the end. which we're here today with the feet with miry clay. That was mixed with miry clay. And it says, during the military campaign against Persia, Alexander took a detour to the south, conquering Tyre and then Egypt via what is today Israel. There is a fascinating story about Alexander's first encounter with the Jews of Israel, who were subject to the Persian Empire. The native conquering Alexander's first interaction with the Jews is recorded both in the Talmud and in the Jewish historian Josephus' book of Antiquities. In both accounts, the high priest of the temple in Jerusalem, fearing that Alexander would destroy the city, went out to meet him before he arrived at the city. The narrative describes how Alexander, upon seeing the high priest, dismounted and bowed to him. Alexander rarely, if ever, bowed to anyone. In Josephus' account, when asked by his general Paramiro to explain his actions, Alexander answered, "I did not bow before him, but before the power who has honored him with the high priesthood. For I saw this very person in a dream in this very apparel." Because the Most High put it in his mind and went into his Allah went into his mind, okay, and gave him those things, just like he went into Nebuchadnezzar's mind. You see that? So the Lord goes and works on men's minds, man. And then it says, Alexander interpreted the vision of the high priest as a good omen and thus spared Jerusalem, peacefully absorbed the land of Israel into his growing empire. As tribute to his benign conquest, the sages decreed that the Jewish firstborn of that time be named Alexander, which remains a Jewish name to this very day, and the date of the encounter, the 20th of Tevet, was described in minor holiday. Alright, now let's go to the main thing. It says Jews and Greeks. It says, this thus began the most interesting and complex cultural relationship in the ancient world. The Greeks had never met anyone like the Jews, and the Jews had never met anyone like the Greeks. The initial interaction seemed to be very positive. To the Greeks, the Jews, the Greeks were a new exotic culture from the West. They had profound intellectual traditions and produced philosophers such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. And it says, who was Alexander's tutor for 2 years? And we know Aristotle to be a so-called Negro, okay? Because we can look and bring up Aristotle with Alexander as being a Negro. Okay, we'll do that now. Slovakia. Let's get this deleted. Right here. See? The water. Now if you go right here, this is Alexander the Great, and then you have Aristotle. Okay? As you can see clearly, he's a black man. Even in this photo here. Broad nose. You see that? This is the main picture I wanted to concentrate on, okay? And it's in Arabic, and it's an Arabic depiction of Alexander the Great and Aristotle, because he was his tutor, so he taught him of these things. Okay. All right, now let's go back into the. It says, who was Alexander's tutor for 2 years? Their love of wisdom, science, art, and architecture set them apart from other cultures the Jews had interacted with. The Greek language was considered so beautiful that the Talmud called it some ways the most beautiful language in all language, and which is not right, because we know that the Jews said it was better to eat pork than to speak Greek. Okay, and that was a saying that Elder Kabar brings out. Okay, that it's better to eat pork than to speak Greek. It says their love of wisdom, science, and agriculture. Let's go down. Greeks had never met anyone like the Jews, the world's only monotheistic nation who had an unique concept of loving infinite gods who cares about creation and acts of history. The Jews had incredible, profound, complex legal and philosophical tradition. They had literacy rates and social welfare infractual unheard of in ancient world. So fascinated were the Greeks with the Jews that they became the first people to translate the Bible into another language, with King Ptolemy II forced 70 rabbis to translate the Hebrew Bible into Greek, known as the Septuagint, which means 70 in Greek. Okay, so that shows you that those interactions between those cultures happened back then, and it just kept growing. Okay, so this woman here, if you see here, she's not, if you look at the word, if you look at the root word, because like it says, the blue letter goes off. Okay, and it says Greek, either by nationality, whether native of the mainland or of Greek islands or colonies. A wider sense name embraced all nations, not Jews, that made the language, customs, and learning of Greeks their own. Primary refers to a difference of religion and worship. So she was a woman she was an Israelite woman that was probably born in Greek, or she wasn't born in Greece, because they said she was Syrophoenician. Okay, so she inducted the Greek ways. She probably dressed like a Greek. She probably spoke Greek. Okay, but she was not. She was an Israelite that came into the understanding that Yahushua was the Messiah. Okay, because then if you go here and turn around and read this, okay, this is another verse, and it says, this is Acts 6:1, and it says, and in those days when the number of disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. Okay, so now let's look up that word Grecian. So with these Grecians, with these people, what am I trying to say? These people were not Greeks in there that was in the camp or in the congregation. They were converts. They were Greeks that had a way of life, but converted and believed upon the scriptures and believed upon Yahweh Shem Yahushai and converted unto those ways, man. That's why I'm trying to say it the best way to be able to make you people understand, man. Because you have to go into these words and understand the situations that were happening at the time. Just like you have today. If you have a person that's born in Africa, or say a person that's born in the United States, people call you African American, but you're not gonna. You speak American, you talk American, you dress American, you learned American ways, you go after their calendar, after their system. But then now, if you convert and say you so-called go back to Africa, you don't have no family there. You might have some cousins and some distant uncles and things of that nature, but you don't have no kind of ties to that culture anymore. So you're considered, even to those people, you'd be considered American. You're Americanized. So there's the same thing going on back then. That these were Greeks, these were Israelites that were Hellenized. Okay? They were Hellenized. So let's get into that word. And it says Grecian. Let's play it. Hellenista.
Strong's G 1675. Hellenistes. Hellenistes.
And let's read it. It says, "An Hellenist, one who imitates the manners and customs of the worship of the Greeks and use the Greek tongue, used in the NT New Testament of Jews born in foreign lands speaking Greek." Okay? So now I want to read this first to show you that the Most High, because for her to be of another nation, she would not have been able to receive the blessings, man, that she received through her faith. This is the book of Psalms. This is the book of Psalms. We're going to jump to Psalms 147 and verse 19. He says, "He showeth his words unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord." Okay, so it's telling you here that the Lord is not dealing with any nation. So now it's not the Most High is not an offer of confusion. So now if you go into this and read it, because we already clicked here and went into Helen, let's go back to the original. Here it's telling you that she's a Greek woman, but that's not what was going on. She was an Israelite that it was in the Hellenistic way, that was in Hellenistic ways, man. Slakia. So now let's go back and read it. And it says the woman was a Greek. So we broke that down. A Syrophoenician by nation. Where's Syrophoenician? Okay. Syrophoenician, all Syrophoenician is a native. It says a native because the word Syrophoenician means mixed people. Let's go into it. Let's click it. Because the word Syrophoenician, it means exalted palm or mixed nation, mixed people. We go right here to the definition. It says a native or inhabitants of Phoenicia, when it was part of Rome province of Syria, to access the complete underbridged dictionary with the additional 3,000 words. That's it on that. But let's go right here into the map. Right here. Okay, Syrophoenicia was right here. Or Phoenicia, Salakia. See? Coast of Phoenicia. So she was born in this area. You understand why they called her that? Because she was a native to that area. And it's mixed people. Because you had a lot of Israelites that was scattered in these areas, man. And that was living under these areas. Because you have Hellenin, which is Jews that didn't know that they were Israelites and were straight living in a Greek manner, okay? Didn't circumcise themselves. They ate all types of manner of things. They followed after a different type of gods. They went into all the worship of the multi-gods of the Greeks, okay? But then you had the Hellenista, okay? That's it on the Syrophoenician. But you had the Hellenistas. You had the Hellenin, which they didn't know of themselves being as Jews. And then you had Hellenistas, okay, the ones that inducted, that was how you say, wearing the customs of the clothes, but they believed upon the Most High. They would come to Jerusalem for Passovers. They would come and worship. That's why you had this situation growing here. And it says, in those days when the number of disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. Okay? Let's look up that word. Service, ministering of those executed and commanded of others, of those who by command of the Most High proclaim and promote religious among men the offices of Moses. It says right here, the main administration of those who render to others the offices of Christian affections, ESP, those who help meet needs by either collecting or distributing of charities. So it would come to collect, how you say, it was like a commune of people, okay, gave up their things and gave up money, and everybody would be, how you say, taken care of. But the Grecian women were being neglected. They were being pretty much looked down upon, okay. Just like you had there was a big uproar because the nationally born Jews, the ones that knew of themselves as Jews, were looking down on the Israelite foreigners, which were the Grecians, or which were the Hellenized Greeks, man. Those were the ones that were Israelites that went into those different, went into that culture of the Greeks, but came back to their understanding and came back to themselves as being Israelites, but still spoke Greek. They probably couldn't speak fluent Hebrew. Okay, so that's how you can't. There's no other nations coming in here, man. It's only dealing with the Israelites, and mainly the elect now, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans spread out through the four corners of the planet Earth. Alright. So let's read it again. And it says, the woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation, and she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. But Yahushua said unto her, let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. And he called her a dog, as in being a foreigner, Israelite foreigners. Okay, because that's what they looked at those other Israelites that was in those other ways, because they gave up on the culture and went into the other people's way of life, man. So the Israelites considered them dogs, considered them unclean. She answered and said unto him, yes, Lord, yet dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. And he said unto her, for this saying, go thy way, the devil is gone out of thy daughter. See, so she received that healing through her faith, man. Okay, through her faith. And she was an Israelite to receive that faith. Okay, so no other nation is to be able to come unto this. Alright, that's why I read this again. This is Psalms 147 and verse 19. He showeth his words unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. As for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So with that, I hope you brothers were edified to the best of my ability. Just wanted to come and just touch on this for a little bit and try to bring it out the best as I can. So with that, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much love to the elect brethren on the four corners of the planet Earth that's holding this truth, watching and praying and hoping, man. Alright, so with that, I'm going to say shalom.